Welcome to Ecstatic Yoga. I am Grace. So happy that you are here today. We are on week 9, and this is our floor practice. And we are focusing this week, our self-love focus is consciously bringing our love into our hearts. And we're also on the Manamaya Kosha, which is a beautiful connection because Manamaya is the mental and emotional bodies. The manas is our thinking, and the kosha, manomaya kosha, is that sheath of the body. It also includes the emotional being as well as the mental. I want to read something that I pulled up a while back on Yoga International about the manomaya kosha. The mental body, or manomaya kosha, feeds on the sense impressions we offer it. If we supply our third sheep, oh, careful, kitty. Hold on, let me hold you. He wants to play. We just pet him. Our third sheep with a continual stream of violent TV shows and video games, for example, it begins to crave increasingly aggressive forms of stimulation and may become more agitated and less sensitive to the suffering of others. What was I? If we stuff it with too much work or too much play, we may experience a form of mental indigestion, leaving us feeling exhausted. A harmonious environment, interesting professional challenges, and fun and supportive relationships offer an ideal diet for the mind. A daily session of pratyahara, or sensory withdrawal, leading into meditation, provides an excellent inner tune-up. So pratyahara, we'll be practicing some pratyahara today to tune up this manomaya kosha. And we're also going to be focusing on the heart. And with manomaya kosha, one of the fastest, easiest, simple ways to really tune it up, other than pratyahara, so going in and really noticing the in and feeling the inner emotions and sensations without engaging in the disempowering thought patterns and pain loops, is very powerful. Also, mantra meditation. So we'll do a little mantra meditation at the end of our practice today and a little bit this week as a tune-up for our Manamaya Kosha. And we're going to do a hip opening practice today with that focus of the heart and bringing this love into the heart and honoring this Manamaya Kosha by bringing the peaceful environment and this loving attention inward towards pratyahara, the inner sensations. So let's begin with our centering, sitting in a nice, comfortable Sukhasana or easy pose. Maybe you want to be in hero, feeling that spine lengthen, shoulders relaxed down and back, and beginning to breathe into that lower belly, this diaphragmatic breathing. And bringing your awareness to the breath. All that exists now is your lower belly breathing. Breathing through the nose. So we begin to trigger and activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the relaxation response. Beautiful job. And taking this opportunity now to set an intention for yourself and practicing Patanjali's Japa Yoga, where you see this intention vividly in detail, clearly, and you feel the emotions of this intention. Really get into that emotional benefit of the intention. That's truly what we truly want. So feeling that and giving yourself a few moments to feel that and let that sink and impress upon your subconscious mind this intention that you're feeding the consciousness. And begin now. And releasing that intention with a this or better, this or better, this or better. And let's begin our practice. Disrupt the kitty cat. Stop this a bit. Let's see. There we go. Sway a little. Okay, beautiful. So let's just begin with some circles. Warming up body, feeling a connection to the body, feeling that connection to the heart, and this expanded Manamaya Kosha that is a part of us, where our mental and emotional beingness is. And maybe a gentle twist. You can bring one hand behind the buttocks, the opposite hand on the knee, and gently twist. Breath. Gentle twist to the other side. Beautiful. And let's move into single leg forward fold. I bring my left, I have our left leg out, and right leg is this sole of the right foot is resting on the inner thigh of the left leg. Good job. And we'll inhale as we lengthen. And some people like to really bring their hands up, but I invite you to bring the hands down in front of the heart or onto the earth as you hinge forward. Nice. Rather than having the arms up and out. So we can just really protect that lower back. And find your gentle edge here and taking one nice deep breath. Resting on this edge. And seeing if at the bottom of the breath, you can hinge just a little deeper in the hip without forcing, without striving, always allowing the body to open up gently. We're always playing a gentle edge. We never force, never push the body to our extreme. If there's any pain, always back off. Know you can always rest and come out of a pose at any time. Paying attention and taking responsible for your body and your needs. And allowing the spine to round as we take a few breaths to this nice forward fold. And while we rest in this forward fold, you can bring that love into that heart. That emotion of love, part of that Manamaya Kosha. On your next inhale, coming all the way up. And let's switch legs. Taking that right leg out, bending that left leg, resting the sole of the left foot on the inner thigh of the right leg. And inhaling, lengthening the spine. Arms up on the inhale. Exhaling, bringing the hands down to the heart and hinging forward. Or down to the earth. And a nice deep breath as you rest on that edge. And hinging a little bit deeper on the bottom of the exhale. You like to round the spine. You can flex and extend that foot. And relaxing in this beautiful forward fold as we bring that love into our hearts. This Anahata chakra. The next inhale, gently and kindly coming up. And let's bring those feet together in Baddha Konasana butterfly. And wrap the hands around the feet. Open those feet up a little bit. It's a little noisy. Just flapping our butterfly wings. Gently opening up those hips. That nice opening. And breathe. And beginning to slow down. And once those legs have come to a stop, let's bring those legs down towards the earth and lengthen the spine upward. Shoulders are back and down. And feeling a nice gentle engagement of the bandhas. Taking Nice deep inhale as you lengthen the spine a little more. And on the exhale, hinging forward. Noticing the sensations in the hips. And breathing. You can round that spine. Bringing the love and energy into your own precious heart. Beautiful. And then the next inhale, coming all the way up. Beautiful job. And let's see, let's move into, while we're right here, let's move into our fire log. Really good hip opener. Definitely can feel the sensation. We move into fire log, at least I can. So we're going to take that left leg and bend that so that it's in alignment with the long edge of your mat. And we're going to be flexing the feet through this pose. So you can start that. And we're going to bring that right leg, the right ankle, right over the left knee, and my right knee right over the left ankle. So we're lining up knees and ankles, and we're flexing these feet. And we're going to inhale as we lengthen, and exhale, folding forward. In this folding forward mode. And finding your gentle edge and resting there, and we'll do a few breaths. Anytime you feel you can hinge a little deeper, you can do that. But I'm on my edge here. I don't know if I'll be going any deeper. Usually can feel some sensation in both hips. And one more breath here. Beautiful job. Inhale, coming back up. And open those legs back out. And we'll go to the other side. So we're going to bend this left leg, flexing that foot. The right leg. I take my right leg and bend that. Left leg is going to come up. Left ankle aligned with the right knee. Left knee right over the right ankle. Flexing these feet again. Nice flex. Inhaling, lengthening. And exhaling, hinging forward. Noticing the sensation. Feeling that deep connection to your heart in a loving and kind manner, and breathe. And on the next inhale, coming all the way back up, releasing those legs. And let's bring them forward and windshield wiper, flop them, playing around, just releasing and relaxing, shaking those legs out as best as we can. And I'm going to invite you to come up onto your knees and move into Mandukasana, which is frog pose. So we're going to take the knees a little wider than the hips, just a little bit. And then we're going to take the lower legs a little wider than the knees and flex those feet. You can flex those feet. And then we're going to bring the hips back and find your gentle edge. Maybe you can only come back a little bit. I can't come back very far. And when you're at your edge there, your gentle edge, can breathe. I'm going to put something. If you feel stuff in your knees, you can put a little blanket under your knees. And one more breath here. Inhale, coming up. And then bringing those legs back in, bringing the knees back to hip width apart. Don't need that anymore for right now. Beautiful job. And let's move into a child's pose for a couple breaths, just for a little rest. Bringing that love into the heart as we work on this Manamaya Kosha. This is the kosha of thoughts and emotions, mental and emotional body. As we bring love into the heart, we are bringing energy into that Manamaya Kosha, the emotion of love into that emotional body. Few breaths here. And on your next inhale, coming all the way back up. And while we're here, we're going to come into a table pose and into a couple more hip openers. So a low lunge is a really good hip opener. The knees are right under the hips, the wrists under the ankles. And we can come and bring, I'm going to take my left foot up and then taking that right knee back a little bit, and you can have a blanket under that knee if you want. And then as you lunge forward, sinking those hips down towards the earth and really feeling this opening and stretch in this right hip. And engage those bandhas and bring in the prana and the breath, staying lovingly connected to your own heart. Beautiful job. And coming up just slightly, straightening that front leg, those hips up. And let's take that left hand and bring it inside. So both hands are inside that left foot. And we're moving into blaster. So you can either remain right here, you can sink those hips down. You can also bring those forearms, bring a little bit deeper, a hip opening on both sides, and breathe. Beautiful job. And coming up on the next inhale, and bend that front leg and move into your pigeon. So that front leg is bent, coming up, balancing on the body. So you can kind of feel that balance, not allowing the body to just roll over, but to balance up. And then from this nice straight place, you can feel the sensations here. And then if you want to come all the way down, bringing the forearms and the arms down to the earth and resting and breathe. And on your next inhale, coming all the way back up into table pose. And we're going to move onto those three poses onto the other side. So taking that right leg up between the hands, moving that left knee back a little bit, feeling what feels right for you, and beginning to lunge forward, dropping and sinking that left hip down towards the earth. Feeling that nice stretch and that nice opening. Finding your gentle edge, engage the bandhas and breathe. And bringing that right hand on the inside of the right foot, both hands on the inside, and sinking down into Blaster. And the option is to come a little deeper, coming down to the forearms in your Blaster. And breathe. And one more breath. And on your next inhale, coming all the way up, I'm going to move, bring the hands to the outside and move into our pigeon on this side, bending that right leg in front and inhaling as you balance the body. Noticing that sensation on the left hip as it sinks down towards the earth in your pigeon. And then if you like to come all the way down, taking a few breaths here. And on the next inhale, coming all the way up, back into table. And let's move back into child's pose for a couple breaths. You can open up those knees so you can sink that belly into between the legs. Bringing that love into your heart. Bringing that love into the Manamaya Kosha, this mental, emotional body. Beautiful. And coming back up into our table. We're going to move into downward facing dog. So curling those toes underneath, straightening the legs and lifting those hips up. A nice downward facing dog. Moving into walking the dog. Deep breaths. Coming back to center. And let's move into three-legged dog. Bringing that right leg up behind us. Feeling the fingers nice and spread. Feeling a nice internal rotation of the upper thighs, and a gentle external rotation of the upper arms. And let's bend that right leg and open up that hip, feeling that nice hip opener. And breathe. And if you'd like to move into Wild Thing, not as much of a hip opener, but it's a beautiful pose. Always honoring those shoulders, so gently bending the knee, honoring the shoulder, bringing the right leg back, and opening up into your Wild Thing, if that's in your practice. Most important thing is honoring the shoulders in this pose. Moving back into three-legged dog and relaxing that leg down and taking that left leg out behind you, bending the left knee and opening up that left hip and breathe, feeling that nice hip opening. The option is to move into Wild Thing if you like, honoring the shoulder as you move in. Moving back, the three-legged dog, and bringing that leg down and coming down onto the knees. And we're actually going to be coming up onto the knees. So move into a nice camel Ustrasana pose. With our camel pose, it's a little gentle hip opener because we want to keep moving these hips right over the knees, and that opens the hips. The first thing we do before we move into this back bend is we tuck that tail under, opening up this lumbar spine here, and bringing the hands to the small of the back. We're going to inhale as you open the heart and the chest. So that beautiful heart opening, we're bringing this love to the heart. So opening up the heart, feeling that beautiful opening, and breathe. And this may be your camel, and this is okay. And a lot of people feel more in this than moving deeper into camel. So feeling the sensations here. If you'd like to move, you can come down to your heels. You also have the option, and then once you come down to your heels, you can see my hips have moved back, so I need to move them forward. That's the hip opening. You can also come up onto the toes, bring those heels up a little higher, makes it a little easier. Always remembering to bring the hips back over the knees and breathe. Head is in alignment with the spine. It's not to drop down. One more breath. And coming up. And let's move into another child's pose for a couple breaths as we feed this Manamaya Kosha, bringing this love into our heart. Positive, loving emotions into our own precious heart. The next inhale, coming up. Let's bring those legs out in front of us. And we'll be coming down onto our backs. You can move into a little gentle spinal rocking, or just come gently down onto your back. Spinal rocking massages that erector spinae muscle, bring some activation into the Sushumna, and gently coming onto your back. And the feet are hip width apart, knees are hip width apart. We move into a little bridge. We move into another hip opener. And so let's just begin with two-legged table, pressing into the feet, lifting the hips halfway. And noticing that beautiful sensation. The arms are alongside, the palms down. You can even move those hips around a little bit, keeping that breath flowing. And gently and slowly coming down one vertebrae at a time. And then finally, bringing those knees into the chest. Beautiful. And let's move up again. Feet are hip width apart, knees are up. And this time we're going to lift those hips up, begin to arch the back, bring those shoulders underneath you as you clasp the hands underneath your body and feel a nice back bend. Knees are staying hip width apart. They're not flopping out. Notice that with your body. Chest is open. It's a heart opening pose. And breathe. One more breath. And on your exhale, releasing the arms, releasing those shoulders and coming down one vertebrae at a time. Beautiful. And feeling that lower lumbar, sacrum, and tailbone release. And then let's move those legs back and forth a little bit. And then gently bring those knees into the chest. Little rock. And then bringing those feet hip width apart again, knees are up. And we'll move into supine pigeon. I don't know how it's said, but I'm going to keep my left knee up. I'm going to lift the right leg and rest that right ankle just above the left knee. And lifting that left leg, clasping my hands behind the left calf, the left hamstring, the left thigh, and gently pulling that left leg into the body, feeling a nice hip opening on the right side. And you can use this right arm and forearm and elbow to open up that right hip a little more for more sensation. And engage those bandhas and breathe. One more breath here. How about two more breaths? Give us time for this hip to open. One more breath. Coming down to the very bottom of that exhale. Beautiful job. And let's switch legs. So I have my right knee up. I'm going to rest the left ankle just above the right knee. Lifting that right foot as I clasp my hands behind the right hamstring and gently pull that right leg into the body. And using that left forearm to open up the left hip a little bit if you want. And breathe. And one more breath. Releasing that leg down at the very bottom of the exhale. Beautiful job. And let's bring those knees side to side a little bit. Noticing the sensations. And then let's bring those feet up, feet together in Baddha Konasana. Nice little butterfly. And wrapping the hands around the feet, the outer edges of the feet, and gently pressing those legs in towards the body. Engaging those bandhas, and let's bring in the prana, the life force. Keeping that focus on bringing love into the heart. Being there for our own selves. Feeding our Manomaya Kosha with as much love as we can conjure up for our own selves. And then keeping a hold of that left foot, let's bring the right leg, straighten that leg, holding on to the outside of the right leg as well, but opening that right leg, and let's moving it around, gentle movements, a little closer in, maybe a little wider, and noticing the sensations. Breathing into the belly. And let's switch legs. Curling that right leg back in and taking that left leg out straight. And allowing yourself to enjoy the sensations, moving the leg around in ways that feel good. The stretch feels nice. Staying right on the gentle edge. Enjoying the sensations. Keeping that breath flowing and that love filled, filling and filling up that heart. There's no end or no limit to the love that is within you and within all beings. And bending that leg in, moving back into Baddha Konasana for a minute. And then let's open up those legs. The knees are nice and wide, aligned more with our armpits than anything. And let's gently pull those legs down towards the earth, engaging the bandhas and breathing. Feeling that nice hip opening. And beginning to rock around a little bit, moving into happy baby, kicking those legs around, having some fun with the legs, moving them in ways that feel really nice and good for you. Beautiful. And let's bring those feet to the earth, hip width apart. Knees are up. We'll move into our final releases and Savasana. In our first release, we'll move into his Kula. So feeling those hips, one hip will start to swivel down towards the heel. The other one is reaching up towards the armpit. And then staying flat on that sacrum, that's that pivot point, beginning to hinge, switching so the right hip comes up towards the armpit, the left stretches down towards the left heel. And continuing, you're flat on your back, nothing's moving or lifting up, we're just swiveling those hips. And noticing the beautiful sensations, the release in the hips, and breathe. And coming back to center, we move into hip pointers. So I'm going to root the left sits bone into the earth as I point that right hip up towards the sky, lifting that right buttocks up. And then moving to the other side, pointing one hip at a time up towards the sky. And if you like, you can even lift all of the hips up, moving side to side. Keeping that pointing of the hip the main movement. And breathing. And one more time on either side. And coming back down. And beginning to move into cat-cow. Flexion and extension of the spine. And as you move into your cat, you're going to feel that tailbone tuck under as you feel the small of the back press into the earth. And as you move into your cow, you're going to feel that lumbar spine, the lower thoracic arching up, even the mid. Feel that spine arch up into extension. Tailbone, the pelvis is tilted forward, tailbone is pointing out. And then back to your cat. As you start to feel the small of the back press into the earth, tailbone tucks under. Flexion of the spine. And a few more times in your cat-cow, breathing through the nose, bringing love into the heart. And coming back to center. And keeping those knees bent, those knees up. Let's just take the feet and move them wider and wider and further apart. Knees are still up. We move into single knee drop as you drop one knee at a time into the center. You can feel that in your hips. It's a nice hip releaser. And breathe. And moving back to center. Walking those feet back together. And let's bring them all the way together so they're touching and dropping both knees over to one side. And lifting that top leg, moving nice and slowly over to the other side. And taking a moment to rest in your Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet are together. And bringing that lower leg over all the way to the other side. Lifting the top leg and bringing it over gently and kindly. The other side, taking a moment in Baddha Konasana, noticing those sensations, lifting that lower leg and bringing that over to the other side. And continuing a few more times, keeping that breath flowing into the belly and that love pouring into your own most precious heart. You are your primary source of love. Source love from within you. And one more time on either side. And coming back to center, making any little last movements you may need, maybe a pose that you wanted to be in that you didn't get to do. Maybe bringing those knees into the chest. And finding your way to Savasana. Putting that blanket or that sweatshirt or those socks And just laying gently and kindly flat on your back, allowing your weight to be received by the earth, allowing the earth to support your body, hold you, support you. You are safe. Inviting all the muscles to relax a little deeper, all the tissues of the body, all the organs, all the systems. Inviting the brain and the nervous system to relax. And as you think of something, someone, maybe an animal, maybe some music, whatever it may be that you deeply love, and then bringing that love into your own heart, all that love. And we will rest in silence and in love, and I will bring you back. Taking a nice deep breath into your belly. Coming back into that pranamaya and anamaya kosha. Wiggling the fingers and the toes. Stretching out the arms and the legs. And rolling over to one side or the other. And kindly and gently coming up to a seated position. And we're going to move into just a little bit of breath work and then a few minutes of mantra meditation. Mantra meditation is one of the best ways to tune this Manamaya Kosha. So beginning to breathe into the belly, like we have been. Deep diaphragmatic breathing, feeling the prana drop all the way down to the pelvic floor. Feeling this lower abdominal fill up as you inhale and that navel coming into the spine on the exhale. And then moving into three-part yogic breath, like a wave, inhaling into the belly, the ribs, and the chest. Pausing at the top of the breath, and then letting it go. And a couple more three-part yogic breaths. And then let's move into Viloma, interrupted breathing. So we'll inhale into the belly, pause, the ribs, pause, and then the chest. Pausing at the top of the breath, and then exhaling completely. And again, like a wave, inhaling into the belly, pause for Viloma, ribs, pause, and chest. Pause, and exhale. Continuing a couple more breaths on your own with Viloma. Let's move into Viloma on the exhale, taking a nice deep three-part yogic breath without pauses. Pausing at the top of the breath, and then exhaling a third of your breath, and pause. Another third, and pause. And then letting everything go, all the breath, exhaling completely. Nice deep three-part yogic inhale. Pausing at the top of the breath. Exhaling a third, and pause. Another third, and pause. And letting the breath go. And a couple more three-part yogic breaths with Viloma on the exhale. The bottom of the exhale, just let that go and taking a couple integrated breaths to begin to move into a little mantra meditation. And think about your mantra, whether you want that to be a mantra that you have in your practice. It could be a simple mantra like love or peace. It could be Om or Sat Nam. You might want to find a hand mudra. We have chin where the pointer and thumb are touching. The other three fingers are extended out as the hands are rested on your legs, or we could have a kine. All the fingers and thumbs are touching. You can have Anjali if you like. Find a mantra that works for you. Nice way to hold your hands. It doesn't have to be any of these hand mudras, but it can be. And we'll move into a few moments of mantra meditation. So we'll be saying this mantra silently to ourselves, or if you'd like to say it out loud, if that helps your mind focus. We are tuning up the Manamaya Kosha with mantra meditation. Couple more breaths with your mantra. And letting that mantra go, and back in your meditation, and we'll bring the hands in front of the heart in Anjali Mudra, and we'll conclude with our Namaste prayer. I honor the place in you in which the entire universe dwells. I honor the place in you which is of love, light, truth, and peace. When I am in that place in me, and you are in that place in you, we are one. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me in ecstatic yoga with this hip opener practice. Wishing you a most beautiful and most blessed day.